Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Smith from 𝐬𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐴. So I'm starting a new series. In this series, we are going to learn the API caching using the use SWR hook. I'll cover API caching, revalidation, mutation, optimistic UI, pagination with infinite scroll, literally everything of SWR library. But before that, if you are new to this channel, I make videos on web development and web designing. So if it somehow sounds interesting, please hit the red keyword button. Please. Okay, coming back to our topic. So if you are not familiar with the SWR hook, let me just give you an introduction. So SWR is a React data fetching library. Now before learning the use SWR hook, you need to know what SWR means. SWR means stale while revalidate. Now what does that mean? Well, according to dictionary, stale means not fresh. Okay, so it's basically a caching approach where it first returns the data from the cache, then it sends a fetch request, and it finally comes up with the up-to-date data. Seems confusing? Let's see this diagram. So at left I have the component, at middle I have the use SWR hook, and at last I have this API service. Now think about this use SWR hook as a middleware. So in the traditional approach using Axios or whatever, you make a request to this API service from the component directly. Right, but in this case the approach is different. So what happens? This component makes a request through this use SWR. So it checks if the data is already there in the cache. If the data is already there in the cache, it returns the old data to the component. Meanwhile, it makes a new request to the API service. It gets the update data from the API service, it updates the cache, and as SWR is a global state, it updates the component with the new data. That's how it is, very simple. Let's see this with an example. Let's say you are a user, the user ID is 123. Okay, so you need to get all the posts of 123. So it checks if the data is already there in the cache. Maybe you already made a request 2 minutes ago to get the same data. So it will check if the data is already there in the cache. If the data is not in the cache, not a problem, it will go to the API service, get the data and returns the new data. But if the data is in the cache, it will return the old data. Meanwhile, it will request the new data, paste the data and update the component with the new data. That's it. Now let's see this in practical. So let's go to his GitHub repo. I'll put this link in the description box. At first, we will see why do you need the API caching. What's the drawbacks of not using API caching. So just go to his repo and then click on this drop down, the branch drop down. Then select the starter and then just copy this URL. I'll put this URL in the description box. Fine. And then just go to your terminal, navigate to the folder where you want to create the project. So here just run npx create next app, then just pass an example flag, so -e, then the URL, just paste it, fine, and then the project name. In my case this is SWR, that's it, just press enter and boom, it will create the project with the starter files. Okay, done. Now just cd to SWR and open this in your code editor. I'll be using VS Code. Fine, so what's going on in the starter? I will talk about the starter files in a minute, but before that just run the server. So let's go to terminal. If you see the output first, you'll understand better. Okay, so let's run npm run dev. It will run the development server. And by the way guys, I assume that you know the basic React, because Next.js is 90% React and 10% Next.js. Cool, just go to localhost 3000. And here's my beautiful app. Okay, so at the top I have this text field and a button which will create a post and then the list of the post. Fine, pretty simple. If you click on a postcard, it will go to a dynamic route. Here it is, look at the route. This is post/1, the one is the ID. Okay, so in this page I have the main post, which is a postcard component, and then a text field and a button to create a comment, and then the list of the comments. Pretty simple. But I'll show you all the implementation of SWR library in this app. Okay. Cool, now just go to a code editor and let's see what's going on. Fine, so as you can see, it's a Next.js and TypeScript project. At first I have the libraries. Inside the libraries I have the types file. Here I have defined the types of the post and the comment. So just two interface, one is iPost and one is iComment. iPost has three properties: content, ID and created at, and iComment has four properties: content, ID, post ID and created at. Okay, just go to db.json. This is my dummy database file. Just close the terminal. Fine. As you can see, I have two entities. One is the post and one is the comment. I have 3 posts and 5 comments. Every post has 3 property: ID, content and created at, as you have seen in the interface. Okay, and the comment has 4 properties: ID, content, post ID and created at. Pretty simple stuff. Now just go to source where all the magic happens. Okay, so here just go to pages. Fine. This underscore app.tsx, you know what it is. This is the entry point of Next.js, but the important thing to notice is I've set the base URL of this Axios request to the localhost 3001 so that I don't need to write this again and again. And I'm also using Bootstrap. I love Tailwind, but temporarily. Okay, now just go to index.tsx, which is our home page. Here, as you can see, I have this create post component and just a dummy array where I'm rendering the postcard component. Cool, I need to create this get post function. We'll do that in a minute. And then just go to post. Here I have the post ID, which is a dynamic route. This page is this one, this comments page. Okay, cool. So I have these two functions, get post and get comments, which I need to define. And then I have this postcard, create comment, and just a dummy array where I'm rendering this comment card. And you must be wondering about this @components. What is this @components? Well, it is called TypeScript path alias. Just go to tsconfig. And here you can see that I have mapped this source/components to this @components so that I don't need to put the relative parts. This is a handy feature of TypeScript. Now just go to components folder. Here I have the comment card, which is responsible for rendering a single comment. This is a comment, just a dummy comment for now. Then I have this create comment, which is responsible for creating a comment, just a simple React state and a text area with a button. We need to add the functionalities. And then I have the create post component, which is same as the create comment but for the post. So this will create a post. And then I have the loader, which is a bootstrap loader. So I'll be using this as a loading indicator. And then I have the postcard, which is responsible for rendering a single post. And now just go to package.json. Here are two scripts we are interested. Yeah, the first one is dev, which is next step, that will run your development server, which is running, and then the JSON server. This will run your mock JSON server. So look at the comment, JSON server db.json. So db.json will be used as the database. And then there are three flags, D, P, and W. So D means delay of 2 seconds. So I'll get the data with a delay of 2 seconds so that I can see the loader and what's the problem without the API cache. And then I have this P means port 3001. So it will be running on port 3001. And then this W means watch db.json. So every time you modify the file, the db.json file, it will restart the server. Okay, so let's run the server, the JSON server. So press Ctrl Shift and 5. This will split your terminal. The shortcut is Ctrl Shift 5. And just run npm run JSON server. It will run your dummy server on port 3001. Fine, so as you can see, there are two endpoints, post/comments, but we can create additional endpoints. Let's see this in action. Just go to browser and go to localhost 3001/post, and this will give me all the post. Fine, but we want to get the post in reverse order based on the created @ so that we can see the most recent post at the top. So the URL is /post ? and then _sort is equal to created @ and the order is descending. Enter. And now we got the post in reverse order based on the created @. Also, to get the comments, we can just go to /post/1. One is the ID of the post, /comments, and this will give me all the comments of a particular post. And now let's add the functionality. So close all the files. Let's get all the posts first. Okay, for that just go to index.tsx. This is my home page. Fine. So we need to add the functionality inside this get post function. Typical React thing. Let's create a state to hold the post. Use state. The name of the state is post plural. The initial state is null. It means we don't have any post yet. Nice. And then the get post function. This should be asynchronous because we are gonna make an asynchronous call. So await, just import the Axios. Should be auto imported. Fine. Axios.get. The get is by default anyway. Just get the URL from the browser. This is, let's copy the URL and paste it here. Nice. Just change the URL to post. We don't need the comments here. Fine. So post with a query parameter sort and order. And now just grab the data. So const destructure the data, cause you'll get the response object. Fine. And then just set the post with the data. Beautiful. Let's call this function when the component is mount. Use effect. The dependency array should be empty. And then here just call this get post. Nice. And now Just replace this dummy array with the post. So just map over the post array, get every post as post. The key should be post.id, and just pass the content, or you know what, data. Data is the post. Cool. This is giving a TypeScript error. We're gonna fix that in a minute, but before that, let's also show the loader. I need to use an optional chaining, so post with an optional chaining, because the post might be null, so in that case it will throw an error. Anyway, so if I don't have the post, in that case I'll show the loader. Again, I have not handled the error. Here inside this getPost function, I have not handled the error. You can handle that, that's not the point of this video. Okay, just import the loader, should be auto imported. Hey, yeah, auto imported, cool. Now just go to postcard and fix this error. Okay, first of all, let's define the types of the properties. So functional component, cool. Use the generic, and inside this generic just define the object. The property name is data, and it is a post. So I post, cool. Should be auto imported from libraries, and then we can destructure this, the data. Look at the power of the TypeScript. Again, destructure this with one more label, so colon and curly brace. And now let's see the power of TypeScript. So control and space, and look at this, content, comma, created at, comma, id. Fine. Now let's replace the contents. The post id, it should be the post id with a curly brace, because we are gonna execute some JavaScript. Just replace this is a post with the original content. Fine. And now this handle click, it should be the id, not one id. Cool. Just save this. And I also forgot to set the types of the state variable, this post and set post. So it should be the array of iPost. So iPost should be auto imported, and just pass this as array. Fine. Very good stuff, huh? Let's see. Let's go to browser and go to localhost 3000. Go to the home page. It will give an error inside this comments page. Don't worry. Let's go to the home page, and I should see my post after 2 seconds of delay. Cool. Again, refresh. The delay of 2 seconds because of the flag dash d with 2000, and now I have the post. Now if you click on a post, it should get all the comments of a post. For now it will show an error. Okay, we are gonna fix that, but now let's get all the comments and that particular post. Okay, let's do that. Just go to post id, postid.tsx. Here I need to get the comments. For now, just disable this postcard, just comment out this. We'll handle this later. So get comments. Let me just copy the Axios function. So this is the Axios request. Go to post id and put it inside this get comments. I need to change the URL, so this should be post slash it should be the post id. So for that, just use dollar and curly brace. Also you need to change this to template string. So this should be the post id. And how can you get the post id? You can get this using the use router. So at the top, just grab this using the use router hook. Use router should be auto imported from next router. So just restructure the query. Fine. Also restructure the post id. Come on, post id. Fine. Just grab this post id and put this inside this curly brace. Fine. So post id slash comments. Right. Just make this dynamic, so it should be not the quote, instead it should be the tilde or the template string. Fine. So I get the comments. It should be Axios. Just import the Axios. Fine. The get comments should be asynchronous function. Nice. Great. So you got the data. And now let's create a state to hold the comments. So use state. The name of the state is comments. Set comments. Use state should be auto imported. Fine. Initial state. Good. It is null. And then after getting the data, let's set the comments with the data. And now just call this function. When the component did mount, so use effect. Inside this callback, just call this get comments. But we need to make sure that we have the post id. Right, so let's make sure that we have the post id. Then I'll go for the get comments. Cool. Inside the dependency array, just pass the post id. Fine, just save this. And now we need to replace this dummy array. Just replace this with the comments with an optional chaining, because it might be null. and then just grab every comment as comment, and then the key should be comment.id, comment.id. And look at this, guys, there is no TypeScript intelligence like comment dot no TypeScript intelligence. That is because I have not set the types. So let's go to comments and set comments. Inside this use state, just pass the type. So inside this generic, it should be 𝐼Comment, the array of 𝐼Comment. And now just hover over the comment. Look at this, every comment is 𝐼Comment, and comment dot will give you the intelligence. So the key is comment.id, and pass the comment as data. Also show the loader. Cool. Now just go to comment card and fix the error. Set the type of the properties. So functional comment should be auto imported. Fine. Inside this generic, just pass an object. Here you can define the type of the properties. So property is data and it is 𝐼Comment. And then we can destructure this data, and function component is not imported. Wow. Press Ctrl and space and it should be imported. Nice. Just replace the content. This is a comment with the dynamic comment. Hey. Yep. So comment dot, come on. Oh, it should be data. Data dot content. Fine, just save this. And good. Let's see. We don't have the postcard yet, but we have the comments. And the delay of 2 seconds. And I have the comments. The comments of post 3. And now let's address the first problem. So let's go to a diagram. Problems. Cool. So first one is, wait, it's loading again. What it is? To see this, just go to a home page. So when you first time refresh the page, it will grab all the data. It's showing a loader, that is fine. Just go to post ID 1. It's getting all the comments. This is perfectly fine. But now, if you just go to home screen, it will show the loader again. Look at this. No, we don't want that. This is a terrible user experience. So every time you go to a home screen, it will show the loader. Nah, we don't want that. And not only on the home screen. If you just go to post ID 1 again, it will show the loader. But hey, we have just fetched the data 2 seconds ago. Just go to home screen. It will show the loader. Loading, loading, loading. Wait, I'm loading. Go to post ID 2. It's loading for the first time, that is fine. But I have all the data, right? Next time when I visit this page should be loaded faster. Cause I have already fetched the comments of post 2, but this will not happen in the traditional approach. Think about this for an e-commerce site. So every time you go to a product, it fetches the product details. Not a problem. First time it fetches the product details, and then when you visit again, it fetches the product details again. Hey, nah. Simply you leave the site. So it's a terrible user experience. Let's see the second point. This is excessive API query. To address this, I'll get the post in my comments page. So this postcard I've commented out. Let's uncomment this. Fine. Now to render this postcard, I need to make another request to get that particular post. Alright. But you already have all the posts in my home page, this index.tss page. Then why is it needed? It seems like it's an excessive query, right? But you can say that, hey, there is a solution. We can leave the state to the parent component and then we can just delete the properties. And deleting the properties is also a problem, right? So we need to make the excessive query. But with SWR, we don't need to do that. We'll see that later. Now let's get the post. So just grab this URL and put it here. The URL is post/post ID. What happened with my voice? Anyway, just create a new state. So use state. The name of the state is post, and this is set post. Initial state is null, and it has a type of iPost, the single post. Just make this async. After getting the data, just set the post. Again, I am assuming that you know the basic React. So set post is data, cool. And now just call this set post if I have the post ID when the component did mount. Beautiful. Just pass the data in the postcard. So data is my post. I need to make sure that I have the post. So post and postcard. Cool. Let's also SWR loader. If I don't have the post, I'll SWR loader. Beautiful. Just save this. Let's see. So this is my home screen. I got all the post. Fine. Just go to post ID 1. Again, I need to get that post and all the comments. Now I'm getting the comments for the first time, not a problem. But I already have my post, right? Now you can say that you can prevent this using the Redux or context API. But then again, Redux comes with a lot of complexity. But as the SWR hook is a global state, you can access this from any part of your React tree. Okay, we'll see this later. Fine, let's see the third problem. If it fails, it fails. What does that mean? It means if for any reason it can't get the data, in that case it will not try again, right? Let me show you with an example. Just go to a terminal and close the JSON server. Fine. Just refresh the page. You will get an error, so just ignore the error because I have not handled the error. But the problem is if it gets a 500 error, it will not try again. Just go to network. Look at this, failed to load. But there should be a way to get the data again, right? To reconnect with the API and grab the data again. But you can't do this with the traditional API fetching, which is a feature of SWR hook. So if it fails, it will try again. It just never gives up. SWR hook never gives up. It will try again, again and again until it gets the data. And now let's see the fourth point. This is props drilling for mutation. Okay. To show this, I need to make a post request. So just go to a terminal and run the server, npm run JSON server, and just go to home screen. Let's create a post. Cool. Not on the home screen, just go to create post component. Fine. Just close the sidebar, hide the terminal. Fine. So handle submit. I need to define this function. So await Axios should be auto imported. Fine. Just pass an configuration object. Here the method is post. Cool. The URL, this is /post, and the data. The data, it is an object. What is the data? The content is the content. Content is the content. Then the ID, I need to create a random ID. And let's create a random ID. So const ID is a typical method random approach. Method random, it will return data between 0 and 1. So let's multiply this with 1000 so that I can get a random number between 0 and 999. And then just convert this to float. So math.float, just wrap the function. Cool. So the ID should be ID, and then comma, the created at. Created at is the date. This is the current time, so date.now. Let's call this. Fine. So that's my data ready. I'll make a request and grab the data. So const data. And after that, just set the content to null. Sorry, empty string, not null. Fine. We need to do some stuff with this data, but I'll do that later. Okay, let's see this. Just go to a browser, go to localhost 3000. Just go to home screen and refresh the page. Okay, let's create a post, a random post, add post, and hey, oh, I have not prevented the default behavior. Great. So e.prevent default. Come on. Yep. Okay, let's try again. So a random post, add post, and great, the post is created, but the data is not updated. Now to mutate the data, I need to drill the properties. So inside this index.tsx page, I need to pass this post, this set post function to this create post component, right? So basically we need to drill the properties to mutate the data. So let's do that. Why not? So set post, pass the set post. Fine, just go to create post. Here we can destructure the property. You can set the type, set post, cool. And then after posting the data, this should be set post. Okay, just grab all the previous post. Just return a new array, but the data should be at the first. The new post should be at the first, I should say. And then dot just spread the other post. Save this, and now it should automatically update the data. Let's see. So another random post, add post, and great, look at this, another random post at the top. And I'm typing slowly because my keyboard sound is being captured in my mic. I've tried to solve this, but I have not found any solution. Anyway, so that's my fourth problem, props drilling for mutation. But again, as the SWR hook is a global cache, I don't need to drill the properties. I can access this from any component. And then no updates of data. What it is, let's see. Let's say you have opened this in another tab. Okay, now if you create a post from this tab, let's say new post from tab, add post, the post is added, but at the first tab I don't have the updated list. I need to manually refresh this to get the updated post. Or if I just create a post manually, so just go to db.json, and here at last just copy a post. Let's say this is a post with be creative Sumit, new post. Great, the ID is 68 and created at 20, so that it is latest. And now just save this. There's an error, yeah, just put a comma, just save this, and now just go to the browser, don't refresh, and you can't see the updated post. Look at this, there is no new post. You need to manually refresh this to get the updated list of post. And now you have the new post. So that's the fifth problem. SWR has this feature. Okay, so that's all my 5 problems, the 5 main problems. Once you learn the SWR hook library, you will find out many more problems in this traditional approach. Okay, so yeah, in the next part we are going to introduce the SWR hook and solve all the problems. So see you in the next video. Bye.